What's the takeaway from a game like this?
Some good things. We did a couple things defensively to try out. With Drew at the 5 and in a shock, we played more zone tonight. There was some really good stuff out of that. And I thought our competitive spirit was really high, and had some guys that really stepped up. Starting with Maxi and Drew. I thought those guys were great. Smart was a warrior. LeBron, after a slow start, got it going, and just Rui made some shots. There's some good stuff to take away from tonight.
JJ, how have you managed, I guess, just for yourself, the trying to, like you just did, find positives out of a game when you don't have the mix that you're necessarily going to have in like a serious game?
It's just you don't. Just talking about with my coaching staff, we don't go into games thinking tonight's going to be rough or we can't win. Like we our belief level, expectations, the standards, they don't change. It's just this has been like the normal all season, so it's not really like it's we've won some games. We've actually beaten a bunch of good teams. You play a team the second time around sometimes, and you rewatch the game, and you're like, oh shit, we didn't have Austin that game, or we didn't have Luka that game, or we didn't have Rui that game, or we didn't have Da that game. So this has just been our season. And look, every team's going through it. I'm not trying to say that we're singled out, but this is just this has been our season. You get one guy healthy, another guy gets injured. You get one guy back, another guy gets injured. Two guys go out tonight. You play without your two centers. So it's just been our season.
How was Marcus? I saw he limped to the locker room.
I believe knee to knee or knee to quad. I'm not sure, but it was a collision.
Jake and his elbow, was he okay?
Yeah, I mean, he's got that thing wrapped. I think he fell on it, but he was fine.
The goal to navigate an 82-game season is to try to stay level, right? Is sort of the idea. How difficult has that been, or has that been difficult for this team, considering the margin of defeat that has sort of existed whenever you guys have lost? It's been pretty lopsided.
Yeah, I think you can. I think it's normal to feel defeated in defeat, if that makes sense. When you lose by 16, but we've still I think had one double-digit loss or one single-digit loss. So yeah, yeah. But I do think the job of the coach and the coaching staff and the leaders on the team, the players, it's all of our job to remain level-headed, and the natural highs and lows and peaks and valleys of a season challenge you on that. And this season is felt like a constant challenge.
After the Hornets loss, Marcus told us, it was something that several guys have mentioned over the course of the year, that we got to be the team to set the physicality from opening tip, and that'll dictate the way the game is called the rest of the way. Do you think the free throw disparity in the first quarter was a result of that, or was it something else? Was it guys getting beaten needed to?
I mean, there's always going to be fouls. It's you can sit there and go through and watch every single. I do it sometimes. I will watch film and I'll watch a play and I'll wait a minute. Let me rewind that, zoom in, slow it down. And you're like, yeah, the officials don't have that luxury. So it's more about to your point, it's more about the way the game is called. They got off to a bad start tonight, and they admitted that to me. And then they kind of just we're all over the map, making calls and not actually making a call. That happened multiple times, where we have to go over what's going on, what's the actual call here. Couldn't get great communication from Pat all night, which we'll put in the coaches' feedback. It was interesting, and so I think that's I've talked about it. It's not to single them out, or it's not the reason we lost. It's just for whatever reason, and you'd have to ask probably the other 29 coaches. It feels like the inconsistency night to night within a game has been there, for most of these crews.
Like threshold of minutes that when you think about a team that kind of has to be whole so you can really learn how to play together both ends of the courts, and obviously it hasn't been the chance to have that yet this season. But how much of a concern is it, and how do you try to keep making progress despite it?
You go out with the unit that's available, try to execute offensively and defensively as well as you can, and that's all you can ask for.
Anything tonight stand out to you on either end?
I thought offensively we were pretty good. I thought defensively we had some keys that we wanted to do. We wanted to, press up on them, but also keep guys in front of us, make them shoot contested twos, make them shoot contested threes off the dribble, and they nailed a lot of them. I thought the whistle was very short in the first quarter. I think it was like maybe 17, 18, 20 free throws in the first quarter.
22 for them.
Yeah, it's hard to set your defense, with that type of situation. But gave ourselves a chance a couple of times, but it was an uphill battle.
Marcus, after the Hornets game, said we should be the team trying to set the tone for physicality early, and maybe that will carry on throughout the game. Do you think that free throw disparity had anything to do with you guys trying to play more physical and then just the refs just happening?
Nah, I thought every game should be a tone of physicality. I didn't think that we were doing something that was like outlandish or was warranted of certain calls or whatever the case may be. I thought we had bodies in front of guys who, and there was just a couple calls that was difficult. But that's the game, and get ready for tomorrow.
JJ mentioned just sort of some frustration with the night-to-night inconsistencies in officiating just now and talking to us. And I guess how different is it night to night?
Yeah, every night is different.
JJ also mentioned that even though you guys were depleted, you guys still show a competitive spirit. Is that something that you want to make sure you guys carry that on, no matter who's out there playing?
Yeah, we have to. Because at the end of the day, nobody's feeling sorry for us, and nor are we looking for it. So the guys that's available, we got to go out there and, like I said, play our game, play the way we want to play offensively and defensively, and just try to ride the ship until we get home.
How do you guys need to scrap out wins at this stage of the year with just kind of where you guys are at health-wise? What's it going to take?
Score more points than our opponent.
How are you going to do that?
Make more shots than our opponent.
LeBron in a world where we see a lot of young players want to be like Steph Curry and shoot a lot of threes. What does it mean for you, for the game of basketball, to see a young star like Danny out there who's playing kind of similar to you in a way, looking to pass, looking to drive? Is it good for the game, do you think?
He's having a hell of a season. Should be an all-star. Obviously, his health is most important right now. Hopefully, he's not out too long, but he's playing great basketball.
You guys obviously got to try to stack wins as much as possible to get through this rough stretch. In a big picture, a night like Timme had, career high 21 points, can that help? The 82 game plan to have a guy, put that under his belt, give him confidence, give him something to reference as the season goes on.
If we continue to play him.
First quarter, and obviously the whistle was coming quick, and I think it was 13 fouls on you guys. Were you trying to establish a certain level of physicality, and how did you feel like that tone that you tried to set worked out?
Yeah, obviously, that's the style that we want to play. Just want to play more physical, harder, especially on those square to reds and stuff. Go screens, really control it, and sometimes it's just the way the whistle goes. Sometimes they let it go, so it just probably got to get a better feel of it if they're going to officiate it like they did. But got to be able to adjust.
You told us on the pregame show just some of the things you've been working on and your game adapting to the NBA level, and you were able to showcase that tonight, especially on offense. So where were you finding your shots, and how did you kind of get in that rhythm early?
it's easy when you play with guys that just get you the ball like in easy spots, wide open threes, like Smart, Brown were just passing in the pocket. Like it was just easy. We were just playing basketball and it just happened to be me who got the shots and early. And it's great when guys like that, like will give you the ball and you're open too, So I mean, just great team basketball.
Drew, you hadn't really gotten big minutes like this in about 10 months, probably, since Brooklyn. Does it give you kind of any evidence, in an NBA game, does it give you kind of any evidence of, like, your improvement as a player in that time to come out and have your NBA career high tonight?
Yeah, obviously it's great to see all the work you put in, and that's the beauty of the G League. Zach and them in South Bay, like they push me, and that's why I keep my skills fine-tuned, and when or if I'm ever needed, I'm ready. And that's the beauty of the G. It keeps me sharp, and for moments like these, because you never know when the opportunity may or may not come, and you have to be ready. So those guys help me a lot, and just continuing to develop and do whatever's asked that's part of the job.
Yes, we actually have a little bit conversation with Hansen Yang on the court. Can you just share with us what did you say to him?
I played against him a little bit in the G this year, and I said I was just congratulating him. I saw he had a big game the other week or other day in the G, and I was like, just keep going. Like, he's a nice guy, he's a good kid, and he's a good dude. So you always want to see good people do well, and so I was just kind of congratulating him on his success.
What was your just individual focus, offense, defense, in the starting role, and kind of playing with that new group, and where were the places that you emphasized the most?
Mostly just keeping it simple, trying to make the right plays. On offense, setting the good screens. On defense, trying to communicate, help out. So keeping it simple overall.
Is it easy, hard for you to stay activated when you're not playing consistently, and then when you do get your chance, what you're trying to accomplish out there?
I don't really try to think about it that much, because at the end of the day, it is what it is, right? So you always have to be ready. You got to do your work, and we have a great coaching staff. We can simulate situations in practice, do it all the time, just so you are ready when your time comes. Obviously with so many players out today, you just want to make sure that you're ready and can step up. So I approach it the same way, try to stay ready whenever I get a chance.
What have you seen in practice from Drew Timme, and kind of what he was able to bring forth in the game today?
He's an amazing player, high IQ, makes great decisions, is very strong with the ball, crafty on offense, and also on defense today, switching up the different coverages that we had, just making a lot of right reads, just very, very solid player overall, both ends of the floor.
So many nights you guys have just had different guys available, and I know it can be hard to develop kind of pattern and consistency with that. How do you feel like you can, or what do you have to do as you get on this next coming set of games after Toronto, which is basically 8 straight on the road, to try and right the ship?
It's tough, obviously, players coming in and out, creating a rhythm, like individually and then as a team, but it's just part of a long NBA season. We got to make the best out of it. I think the most important part is that we keep the energy high. Obviously losing sucks and it's tough right now, but you want to make sure as a teammate you lift up your next guy, whoever's playing available, whatnot. That's just the biggest focus for every one of us.
Just one non-tonight question, just the NBA being in Europe, Germany specifically, and did you kind of hear from some people back there? How did you feel like it went? Was that exciting to hear about?
It was a great event, big for basketball. We have a lot of basketball fans. It's growing in Germany, so it's really great to see that so many people are interested in it. And then obviously, with the Wagner brothers being back home in Berlin City, was just overall an amazing event. Like, everybody who's came back to me said it was just fun to go to.